From local sports to national newsmakers, this is the show everybody is talking about. Live from the Granite State, it's Mike and the Hoss on the Pulse of New Hampshire.
Good morning and welcome to the Mike and the Hoss Show, powered by the MM Shop on the Pulse of New Hampshire. I'm Mike Dene, and alongside Charlie Hossack, we are Mike and the Hoss. April 26th, gentlemen, J-Dog back at studio. It's raining here. Charlie, I know it's not raining where you are.
No, I am remote from Florida. I made it to Florida late last night. Mike, it looks like you are in a closet, so that must be fun.
I came in and my where I usually do it is being used, and so I had to think on my feet and get into a closet. And
gotcha. So I am down. Right. Yeah, I'm down in Hudson, Florida, which is north of Tampa, and I'm going to share with you my travel woes just quickly. But made it down here late last night. Had a blast. The weather obviously is beautiful. It's Florida. It's going to be sunny, mid 80s, low 90s for the next few days that I'm going to be here. So looking forward to it. I am outside, so if you hear any external noise, it's just because it's the birds chirping and fun, all sorts of cool things out here. So guys, I flew out of Portsmouth late yesterday afternoon, and I flew down to St. Pete. When we arrived at St. Pete, our plane landed, but the problem is that there was a bomb threat on another aircraft that was next to us. So that put us into complete lockdown. To make a long story short, the bathrooms, we had already been informed, were not working on the airplane unless you were above 16,000 feet. So we didn't have any bathrooms. I sat on a tarmac for close to 3 hours in an airplane with people that were frustrated, kids. I mean, for the most part, people were actually pretty good under the conditions. But there were kids crying, people upset. So it was a long, what should have been a 2 hour and 56-minute flight to get me down here. Early in the evening, turned into a late night for me. So, but I'm here.
You should have stayed in the rain here in New Hampshire, like us.
I know I should have, but it was interesting because even with us, so we were positioned out on the tarmac. The other one where they suspected the bomb, of course, was on the main runway. They shut down the whole airspace around that area, and like I said, when we were finally released to get off in St. Pete, you get off on the tarmac anyway. But there were so many first responders, law enforcement, canine dogs, everything, because they needed to clear our aircraft just as protocol. So it was quite the experience, an experience that I don't want to repeat. But that being said, I did it, and it's a good story. And thankfully, everybody was safe, even the one with the bomb scare. It was just they found out it was not true. Someone had just called it in, so everybody was safe.
What I'm hearing is that make sure you go to the bathroom before final approach.
Yes.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yes, yeah, and it was interesting because the flight attendants and the pilot had reminded everybody in the next 15 minutes we will be descending below 16,000 feet. So if you need to use the facilities, and you should have seen the line in the aisle. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. So. Hey, so a sports world, we got the Celtics in the playoffs. Obviously, they lost last night. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But the draft hoopla and the NFL stuff, especially with what your opening take is going to be, Charlie, has been dominating the sports world, as the draft has been doing probably for the last 25 years. And I'm excited to talk about where the Patriots are at this point. They still have 3 more picks today. But yeah, it's there's some good stuff out there. So let's get started and let's have some fun. Mike and the Hoss is powered by the MM Shop, located in the heart of downtown Wolfboro, and can be found on the Pulse of New Hampshire radio stations and all over the world on the Pulse of New Hampshire app. You can always catch up and listen to our previous shows on the Pulse Podcast Network, Spreaker, Audible, and Amazon Music. The Yum Yum Shop has over 100 varieties of fresh baked goods, including 6 different types of bread and a full-service ice cream bar, and of course, their most famous item, the gingerbread cookie. Make sure to visit the Yum Yum Shop the next time you're in town, you're in Wolfboro, or online at yummyshop.com. And while you're there, enter the discount code of Mike and the Hoss to receive 20% off the Gingy Box. You can always join our conversation, 603-228-2080, 603-228-2080. And our live stream on Facebook is brought to you by the Heinz Group of Philadelphia and London. And if you want more Mike and the Hoss, you can always catch up on our Overtime podcast on the Pulse Podcast Network, Overtime with Mike and the Hoss, that we usually post midweek on the Pulse Podcast Network. Did I forget anything, Charlie?
Yes, I did. Yes, you can follow us on social media. You can follow us on X, Facebook and Instagram. Just look for Mike and the Hoss. Follow us and enjoy all the stuff that we have to offer. Dog, I just want to comment. Is that, I don't know if that's a new shirt, but are you rocking a pink shirt?
I've worn it before, yeah. But
I like
because
it.
of the weather that we have, it's not hot out. It's dry. It's just long sleeve today. So
Perfect. I love it.
Opening Takes brought to you by the Back Bay Boathouse,
where you can enjoy delicious food and drinks right next to the lake. Don't forget to order the $5 Mike and the Hoss penalty box during happy hour, Monday through Friday from 3 to 5 p.m. That's at the Back Bay Boathouse.
So, I mean, I know what your opening take is, Charlie, and I think that we both are, probably the three of us are going to have a lot to say about it, because everybody seems to have a lot to say about this. Is what's dominated the NFL draft is not who was drafted, but who was not drafted. Go get him, Charlie.
All right. Well, so we're going to be talking about Deion Sanders' son, Shedeur Sanders. Now, this isn't going to be that outrageous, although you might think it is. But the reason why that Shedeur has not been drafted, it's not because of Deion. It's not because of his father. It's not because Shedeur is a terrible quarterback. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with LeBron James. And LeBron James is the reason why Shedeur, I see the look, Mike, Shedeur hasn't been drafted, because of the stuff that has happened with LeBron James and his son, Bronny. Bronny doesn't necessarily deserve to be on an NBA roster. He should be in the G League. He's an average basketball player. And LeBron James used his power and his influence to get his son onto the Lakers so that he could play with his son. We know that whole story. I'm saying that's a problem. I'm saying LeBron is a problem because Deion Sanders saw this as like, oh my gosh, I was a great football player. Absolutely. Deion Sanders, amazing football player. Prime time, baby. All right. And Deion Sanders said, look, if LeBron can do this, I can do this too. I can influence. I got my son to come from Jackson State with me. I'm at Colorado. I just retired his number. And now I have the opportunity to get him selected in the first round of the NFL draft. Well, guess what? That didn't happen. I mean, people were talking, months ago. We probably talked about it. He could have been the number one pick or in the top, 2 or 3. And round 1 came, nothing. Round 2, round 3. He doesn't have a place to go yet. That being said, you probably have seen Shedeur created this like beautiful man cave, this in his house for draft day, and he's got his hats lined up in this really cool, the really cool setting for draft for what he expected would be potentially in the first round at some point, probably in the top 10, and that didn't happen. So I am actually blaming LeBron for kind of setting a precedent, indirectly setting a precedent that Deion Sanders said, I can do this. I can influence this. I've got power. I'm one of the better football players that has ever played the game. And now I can get my son to get selected in the first round so that he can have a successful career. What say you guys?
I want to dig into Shedeur Sanders. I think this is really interesting on the reasons why he's not drafted. LeBron James was not on my bingo card. So yeah, I'm going to push back a little bit. I think the difference is I got to wave. I get the lights turned off.
At least you have, Mike, at least you have lights.
There it is.
You have lights in the closet, which is nice.
That is true. So I don't think that Deion Sanders has the power that LeBron, because LeBron's still playing. Okay. He is running a franchise. Whether you admit it or not, he's running a franchise. And the draft experts, the scouts, were pretty much in unison that Bronny James was not ready for the NBA. Right. So the talent-wise is not there. You can't say that about Shedeur Sanders. If you listen to Mel Kiper over the last 3 days, Mel Kiper has aged about 30 years just in the fact that Shedeur hasn't been drafted. He's really bothered by it. He thought he should go in the top 2. Yeah. And Mel Kiper is the Graham Booba of draft analysis for ESPN for the last 30 plus years, 40 years, back in the 80s. So if he says that he should be drafted, then their talent probably is there. I believe, and this is something that we've talked about before, we've talked about ego to talent ratio. Mm-hmm. And the ego for Shedeur Sanders is so incredibly high relative to the talent that he has. And that doesn't mean he doesn't have talent, but the ego that franchises are just saying, no, we're not doing it. We are not getting into this circus. Deion's part of it. You figure that Deion's going to be involved with it, with how much he plays and with the practice regimens and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it is about Shedeur and his ego, his refusal to meet with teams at the combine, when he did finally meet with teams at the combine, how disrespectful he was to the teams that he met with in these interview processes, his refusal to throw at the combine, just outwardly refusing these things led to these general managers, these coaches, these owners saying, no, we're not doing it. You're not that good. You're good, but you're not that good that we want to deal with the circus. And I think owners are becoming akin to the fact that they can look at it now and say, is the circus worth the talent?
Right.
And they're seeing that it's not worth it. And that's what's going on with Shedeur Sanders.
Right.
All right, Doug.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Doug.
sorry.
I knew Shedeur Sanders' draft stock was in trouble when Mike, to your point, that report came out 2 days before the draft, saying 2 days. It was 2 days before the draft. It was on Tuesday that report had come out that it was a post by one of the NFL insiders. I don't know if it was Ian Rappaport or Adam Schefter, the dope, one of those guys. I'm not a Shefty guy at all. That Shedeur Sanders, it did not go well at all in terms of meeting with NFL GMs. They were not impressed. They just didn't find him at all to be a franchise guy. And remember, 2 months ago, that looked like that was not going to be the case. We had talked about potential top 5, potential top 10, not falling out of the first round. People were saying maybe the New Orleans Saints take him in the top 10. They did not go in that direction. Okay, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they did not go in that direction. Maybe the Giants move up. Oh, the Giants moved up, but they got someone else at a quarterback, not Shedeur Sanders.
There have been, I believe, 3 or 4 quarterbacks taken so far, not Shedeur Sanders.
Right.
Talent-wise, I think people are arguing that, well, Shedeur is more talented, but you're not just drafting talent. You're drafting personality, you're drafting leadership, you're drafting brand, and so these guys that are coming in, if I was going to blame anything, I would blame NIL. I would blame that whole thing, that these guys are corporations before they even hit the draft room. And so now they feel like they're in charge. And you know what? The NFL owners, the NFL coaches want to be in charge. The GMs, they want to be in charge. They don't want to be taking it. And they don't have to put up with the NIL stuff like the college does. There was no court ruling that said the NFL had to, bend the knee to the NIL.
Right.
It didn't. It was the colleges did. And so the pros are saying, wait a minute. No, we're not going to, just because you have $10 million in NIL money, just because you had your number retired ridiculously, which we talked about last week, doesn't mean that we have to draft you. We don't have to draft you. If we don't want to deal with your baggage, we don't have to draft you. And this is what we're seeing. And I hope this is a lesson to every other college player that's playing, whether it be basketball or football, that they can't act like they're bigger than the moment. And that's what Shedeur did.
I just want to jump in again because I think you guys both actually made my case blaming LeBron, because what if Shedor's father was not Deion Sanders? What if it was Mike Dene or Charlie Hossack or J-Dog? I mean, he wouldn't have had the exposure. He's a good quarterback, but he's not I don't know. He's not an amazing quarterback.
He's not a franchise guy, although he wears a watch that could feed half of Detroit's homeless.
Sure. So, so this is a guy without Deion as his dad, without Deion seeing what LeBron James did for his son and the influence that LeBron had on Bronny, that Deion is attempting to have. And I agree with you, Mike. Deion's not in the league anymore, but Deion still has connections and influence. And I think if Shedeur were just a regular quarterback, there's a good chance that he may have already been drafted, not in the first round. He's not first round material. Come on. But maybe in the second round, definitely, and definitely by the third round. I mean, he's definitely good enough for the NFL to be a backup somewhere. And we'll see. And then, you never know, right? We're blessed with the Tom Brady aspect of, you just never know. Anything can happen. We saw what happened with Tom. So I do blame LeBron. I do blame his father, Deion, indirectly. I agree with you, Mike. The NIL is kind of made this into a mess. And then Shedeur himself is to blame, clearly. by creating this kind of this, as you said, circus, this fiasco. Check out my draft room that I just built. I mean, give me a break. So it's just the whole thing is just a big mess. How about this? Does he? I mean, I guess the answer is going to be yes. I'm going to ask it anyways. Does he get drafted in the 4th round, or does he even go deeper?
I don't know. I guess it probably depends on. There's not as much guaranteed money, obviously, in the 4th, 5th, and 6th round. Yeah. And so the commitment isn't going to be quite as there. It wouldn't surprise me if he goes unrestricted free agent, as you go that UFA thing, whatever that is, that he signs afterwards where he can just pick a team and then Dion can help him pick a team. Yeah. It's a mess. There's been no player that has ever dropped like him. There's in the history of the league. You might have one that was expected 1-2 and they go, maybe to bottom of the 1st round, maybe to the 2nd round, but nothing like this. This is historical.
Like a stone.
Yeah. This is historical, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I really don't. I don't think this is a bad thing. I think it's people saying we're gonna draw a line in the sand here and say you are not calling the shots. Here's the other. We got to go to break, but here's the other aspect of it. Shedeur had full say in terms of the offensive game plan every single game. It was his offense. He decided what plays that they were going to run. He decided all of that because Dion, was more of an offensive guy, and so it was Shedeur. Shedeur also had Travis Hunter, who. Obviously the best receiver in the league.
Sure.
And so I don't think there's a ton of questions about the talent. I would disagree with you, Charlie, a little bit. I think that he is, NFL talent anyway. I do. I think he's NFL talent because I don't think the likes of Mel Kiper. I don't think the likes of Mel Kiper would be touting him so much if he was going to be a bust because that would take down Mel's stock. But I think they saw the baggage that was coming, and they said it's not worth it. And that's basically what it comes down to.
Agreed.
All right. We're going to talk about the Patriots draft when we come back from break. So for more Mike and the Hoss, keep listening.
News, traffic, weather, and discussion. Available to you anytime, anywhere with the always free to download Pulse of New Hampshire app.
Jen, Buddy looks amazing. I love his new haircut. Where'd you take him?
Nowhere. Wolfie's mobile pet spa came right to my house. No stressful car rides, no waiting rooms. Buddy got a full groom right in my driveway.
Really? Between work and the kids' schedules, I have no time to get Bella to the groomer. So they come to you?
Yes, they do.
That sounds like a dream. Bella hates car rides. Do they do big dogs?
Oh, yeah. All breeds, all sizes. And you don't even have to be home. So you can schedule any time after the initial visit.
Nice.
And they don't just groom. They do dog walking and even pet sitting. When I went on vacation, they came and fed Buddy and took him on his daily walks at my house. No kennels, no stress.
That's perfect. I always feel guilty leaving Bella at a boarding place. How was Buddy after?
So happy. And they sent me updates and pictures. Plus, their walkers are trained, so I know he's in great hands.
I'm sold. I'm booking at Woofie's of Concord in Manchester today.
Woofie's of Concord in Manchester. Mobile grooming, pet sitting, and dog walking that comes to you. Pamper your pet today at WOOFIES.com.
It's Christmas Eve, 1906, and Reginald Fessenden did something amazing, a world's first, right in Brant Rock, Massachusetts.
He was the first to successfully transmit the sound of human voice, as well as a Christmas concert wirelessly. This broadcast, the first AM broadcast ever, was intercepted by United Fruit Company ships out in the Atlantic Ocean. And American Fences was there.
Since 1892, American Fences has been a Mafera family-owned business. Whether your fence is professionally installed or a do-it-yourself project, experience matters. That's why American Fences is with you every step of the way with the best fencing materials and first-rate customer service.
So take that first step and give us a call, 603-485-7197. Just please don't sing us any Christmas carols.
American Fences Incorporated, located on the Hooksett Road in Hooksett.
Online at AmericanFences.net.
April is National Serger Month, and the staff at Pintuck and Pearl in Northampton want to celebrate the savings with you and show you how a serger could be a great addition to your sewing room. Whether you're a quilter, bag maker, or garment sewer, Maggie and her friendly employees will explain how a serger can simplify your life and assist in your maker skills to be even more creative. Pintuck and Pearl will also have 20% off feet and luggage in April and 0% financing for 18 months. Go to pintuckandpearl.com for more details.
Pintuck and Pearl, where makers make If you've been having your McDonald's sausage McMuffin with an iced coffee from somewhere else, now's the right time to reconsider.
Wake up to a warm sausage McMuffin with egg for $3 and add your favorite any size iced coffee in caramel, black, or French vanilla for just $1.29 during breakfast hours only. Prices and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
You're listening to the Granite State's own Mike and the Hoss on the Pulse of New Hampshire.
Mike and the Hoss on the radio waves. Teachers by day, coaches making plays. Sports talking kings of Wolf River Town. Husbands, fathers, where heroes are found.
603-228-2080. If you want to give us a call, talk about Shedeur Sanders, about the Patriots draft, which we're going to talk about right now. Even though this is our New Hampshire sports segment, we got to read that one, Charlie, and then we can talk about the Pats draft. You're muted. You're muted, Charlie. Charlie?
Yourself off mute.
All right. I got looks like I got New Hampshire sports. I got to get the pull-up copy. Family owned and operated, Bailey's Bubble in downtown Wolfboro serves the finest ice cream in the state from May through October. If you can't make it to Wolfboro for ice cream, you can still order the hot fudge, penuche, butterscotch sauces at baileysbubble.com. My favorite sauce, this would be Charlie's favorite sauce, is their homemade hot fudge. When placing your order, don't forget to tell them that Mike and the Hoss sent you. Are you back, Charlie? All right, dog, me and you, we're talking Pats draft. So obviously the Pats, as expected, picked Will Campbell, the offensive tackle out of LSU, as the first pick. Nobody to surprise. I don't think anybody was necessarily disappointed, but they weren't really excited about it. The first thing I noticed, though, when they picked Will Campbell, when he stood up, how short his arms were. His arms looked incredibly short. Are you with us, Charlie?
I am with you. Can you guys hear me?
Now we can.
All right. Well, it's good to be back. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I couldn't hear you, couldn't see you. So go ahead, Mike. You were picking up. You're talking about Patriots draft, and we're talking about Will Campbell.
So Will Campbell, I said the first thing I noticed, and it wasn't a surprise that Will Campbell got picked, but the first thing I noticed was how short his arms were. When he stood up, I was like, holy crap, those things are short. Which, if you believe in, history, if you believe in data, nobody with that size arms has been a successful offensive tackle in the NFL. And I say successful as in all pro, that kind of a level, for the better part of a quarter of a century.
Right.
So that's concerning. He's an incredible talent. If you look at his stats, and he could probably, obviously move inside to guard, but his arms are short. Did he make the Patriots better? Absolutely. We lost Charlie again. Absolutely. He made the Patriots better. And I think that's exciting that he made the Patriots better. I think they did improve. After round one, I think it got a little bit more exciting because just like you would expect, the first round is relatively slotted, the first 5 to 6 picks. You kind of know what's going on. The Cleveland Browns trade with Jacksonville was a curveball that nobody saw coming. Jacksonville gave up a ton to get Travis Hunter, which do you think they gave up too much for that? How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I think with Travis Hunter, I mean, he could be the future franchise player. I mean, if he continues being as successful in the NFL as he was in college, the guy's extremely talented. Obviously Heisman Trophy winner. He can play both ways. I know he's not going to play both ways in the NFL, but I think I would have probably sold everything to go after someone with that type of talent.
Dog, what about you?
Of course, the Browns traded him away. Of course they did. Of course they did. Typical Cleveland Browns. That's why they choose in the top 5 every year of the draft.
Yeah. I think it was too much. It was a bad trade on both ends. If that could happen, I think Jacksonville gave up too much. And I think that Cleveland had the opportunity to get that franchise wide receiver and to kind of solidify, and also to give them that marquee national player, which Cleveland desperately needs.
They need it, yeah, right.
Anyway, getting back to the Patriots, round 2, they Trayvon Henderson, the running back at Ohio State, relatively small guy, 5'10", 205. I was reading that they think he's the best running back blocker in the last 20 years to come out of the draft.
I mean, it's interesting. So, I mean, I think if that's true, this is great, because if you're going to utilize him primarily to block, protecting Drake May, maybe we're going to be able to see that he can slide out, and maybe he can catch the ball. Give us a good third down option. I think it's excellent. I mean, I never, I think, Mike, we had talked about a little bit how we really didn't want the Patriots to end up picking a running back, but I think you're right. He's going to complement Drake May. I mean, we're not going to throw the ball 90% of the time. We're going to have to run the ball. And if he can block, which is number one, and then he could skedaddle and kind of get out and catch short passes, I think it's a good selection.
3 down back.
Yeah.
And again, he's explosive, but his probably number one feature is that he's a great blocker as far from the running back position. So if you see a theme here. Then in round 3, Kyle Williams is a wide receiver, obviously explosive, out of Washington. And did you see the footage, because they kept playing it, of him pulling away from Travis Hunter?
Yep. Yeah.
That probably in itself bought him 2 or 3 draft levels. As far as rounds go, just that play alone. And then Jared Wilson, a center. So you have 2 offensive linemen between Will Campbell and Jared Wilson.
Yeah.
And you have a running back who is known for blocking. So you could see the theme that happened with the Patriots. And I appreciate this so much that they had a plan.
Yeah.
There was a plan.
Yeah, right.
Not just offense. It was protecting Drake May.
Well, sure,
Protecting
of course, essentially protecting the franchise. We need to get Drake May what he needs to be successful. I mean, can you imagine? I know we're going to imagine. We're going to see it in just a short few months. If he has time, Drake May has time to throw the ball. If we have receivers that can get open, if we have tight ends that can get open, I mean, this opens up a completely different world than what we've seen the past few years from the New England Patriots.
Well, think about how restricted they were because of the offensive line last year, because the quarterback didn't have time.
Yeah.
That they couldn't take the 7-step drop. They couldn't do those kinds of things. Everything had to be quick coming out. And at least this gives them a few more options on offense. And Josh McDaniels, we're going to remember Josh McDaniels is coming back. And unlike Alex Van Pelt, Josh McDaniels has a really history of game planning for the teams and game planning against good rushing attacks, or good. Why am I thinking rushing attacks? Not rushing attacks.
Not rush.
I'm thinking about
teams that
blitz and stuff like that with Brady and things. Now Drake May is not Brady, but at least you have somebody. Again, we said this before. It feels like we have adults in the room, and the adults found the pieces that they're going to make them better. Last year's draft was throwing darts at a board. It was there. It would be, guys were coming in and like, well, who's that guy playing for? Who's that guy playing for? But I think that there's a theme that goes on with this. Now they have 3 more rounds today. Are they going to go defense, or are they going to keep the theme and stay with the offense?
It'll be interesting. I mean, I suspect they're going to have to pick up a defensive player, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do. Let me ask you guys the question then. All right. So what we've seen so far from the first 3 rounds, what the Patriots' plan is this going to equate to more wins this season? This season,
yes.
Okay.
I think it's going to put them on a trajectory. I don't think it's going to be, teams can come out of nowhere and win, 8-9 games, and just because who they play, the ball bounces a certain way. I think that this is going to make them a more solid team. I trust the leadership of the Patriots more now than I did even in Bill's final couple years.
Yeah.
There just seems to be a plan. Again, there seems to be adults in the room that are making decisions, that are saying, this is what we need to fill these spots. We're going to go and get them, but we're not going to just necessarily plug and play. We're going to try to do it. I love the idea of getting a running back that's explosive, but also getting one that can block.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's fantastic. And we've seen some of the great New England running backs have been blockers as far as those third down guys. Shane Vereen.
Mm-hmm.
These guys, were able to get out of the backfield and make plays, but also were to stay in there and pick up that blitzer.
Yeah,
and we've seen time and time again that they've been able to do that. So I think this was so far it's been a good draft for the Patriots. Speaking of that, let's do our poll question, Dog, while we're talking about the Pats draft.
Last week's results, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, do last week's and then we'll do this week.
Okay, it was on X and on Facebook. It was, will the Celtics repeat as NBA champs? On X, we had it as 66.7% saying yes, with 33.3% saying no. On Facebook, it was 75% saying yes. The rest saying no. So, this week's poll question on X as well as Facebook. You can get it on. We're going to probably post it within the next, right at noon. Or do you like the Patriots draft choices in 2025? Yes or no?
Oh, it's good.
So far, I'm a yes. I think it was, given what they had, I think that they picked. The team's better. The team is better right now than they were Thursday morning.
I agree. It's going to be a yes, Mike. Your mind's not going to change with rounds 4, 5, and 6. So, yes, they're going to be picking guys we don't know.
If they start picking punters and kickers, then it might change. So that is on the table.
They're going to draft 3 long snappers.
Yeah. All right. We'll be right back with some trivia.
News, information, and discussion. This is 107.7 WTPL.
Are you an experienced HVAC installer looking to take your career to the next level? A retirement plan with employer match, paid holidays and paid time off, and a $3,000 sign-on bonus. It's time to start enjoying work again. Call Sean from Ethical Home Pro at 603-216-2593 and start the next chapter of your HVAC career today. That's 603-216-2593 and at ethicalhomepro.com.
We do things the right way, the ethical way. Ethical Home Pro, Ethical Home Pro.
When you know it's time for new furniture, shop local. Shop Cheney's Apple House Furniture in Pennacook. You can find American-made high-quality living room, dining room, kitchen, and bedroom sets, along with furniture for your children. Cheney's offers the most honest, low everyday prices around. Find the most comfy sofa, chairs, recliners, tables, and much more. Don't lose any sleep searching for that perfect bed. Cheney stocks Sealy mattresses, including the Sealy Posturepedic, in all sizes and comfort levels, alongside the world-famous Tempur-Pedic mattress. There's never any hassle when you shop at Cheney's. Their sales staff are not on commission, so if new furniture, a new bed are in your future plans, shop Cheney's Apple House Furniture, 191 Village Street in Pennacook. Take 93 to exit 17. Head west and follow the signs to Pennacook. NHFurnitureStore.com. Open every day.
Apple House Furniture, the best furniture store in town. Apple House Furniture, the best furniture store around.
When I go places and do things, I can't help look at stuff that I think is unsafe.
Scott Lawson of the Lawson Group on serious injuries that can happen in the workplace.
Most companies, when there is an injury like that, they do go overboard and they spend way too much time and effort and energy and money on the wrong things, because typically it is people's behavior, lack of training, education, equipment, whatever, that allowed them to get hurt. And that's really where they should be focusing their emphasis.
In your expertise, what is the generalized root cause for most accidents in a workplace?
So the last thing in the world you want to do is have a brand new employee that's never seen this machinery or equipment before be trained by somebody that knows how to break all the rules without getting hurt. Although Joe may be there for 20 years and he's a good employee and produces a lot of widgets and very high quality widgets, he may be cutting every corner in the books because he's been doing it for 25 years.
For workplace safety information on everything from indoor air quality and hazardous materials management to noise exposure, wellness consulting, and workman's comp, it's the Lawson Group. Go to thelawsongroup.com.
Get in touch with the show anytime at thepulseofnh.com and on the free-to-download Pulse of NH app. Now, back to Mike and the Haas on the Pulse of New Hampshire.
The Hawks on the airways blast. Talking New England sports, they got the facts. Coaches and teachers making it clear. Wolfboro mornings filled with cheer. Baseball scores and
Charlie's making me work overtime today, so I've got to read the copy for the trivia. Before we do that, right after our show, Red Sox, they got rained out last night, and they're going to play a doubleheader today against those pesky Cleveland Guardians. Yes, 12:10 pregame. Yeah, 12:10 pregame and 5:10 pregame for the game too. Are both on the Pulse of New Hampshire, Dog?
Why would they not be?
I don't know. Awesome. I thought I'd ask the question.
All season long on the
all
Pulse.
season.
Doug, you must be excited. I mean, the Guardians have 14 wins, but I can't believe it. The Red Sox have 14 wins as well. So
something's got to give. I got a good feeling this weekend. It's in the land. I got a good feeling.
You got a good feeling? I got a feeling.
All right. Today's trivia is brought to you by Lucas Roasting Company, located on King Street in beautiful Back Bay, Wolfboro. They serve delicious tea, espresso, and lattes. Lucas Roasting was voted the best coffee in New Hampshire in 2020, 2022, 2023, 2024, and 2025. They even roast their own coffee inside their cafe. Lucas Roasting offers 40 different single origins and blends of coffee to choose from. Lucas Roasting Company can handle personal and large business orders. Stop by their cafe on King Street in Wolfboro or order online to have coffee shipped right to your door. The cafe is open Wednesday to Saturday, 7 to 3, or visit lucasroasting.com anytime.
Mike, man, that was great. You not bad at all, my friend. I like
all
that.
Right, let's get to it. The clock's ticking here.
All right, so this is for a Lucas Roasting coffee gift card. And Dog, when you call in and answer the question, you're going to get J-Dog, and he's going to give you a code that you can use to redeem your $20 gift card. So thanks to Lucas Roasting, one of my favorite coffee companies in the world. All right, here is the trivia question. Super Bowl 42. All right, you guys remember that one? The New York Giants versus the New England Patriots.
I remember that one.
Yeah, the Giants versus the Patriots. Name the player who made the helmet catch in Super Bowl 42. Giants player who made the helmet catch in Super Bowl 42. 603-228-2080. That's 603-228-2080 for an electronic gift card from Lucas Roasting Company.
All right. Something you wanted to do, Charlie, you wanted to do the Mount Rushmore of professional sports mascots. And I was pretty clear that this is not my forte, but I'm going to play along. And so how do you want to do it? Your game, how do you want to do it?
I just think we could go around now. I would like to. It doesn't matter the order. It's Mount Rushmore, so there's only four. It's only four, so it doesn't have to be like Charlie Hossack's my number one. All right, just go ahead and pick one, and then we'll see if someone else agrees. So I don't want to start. I actually want to go third. So Mike, why don't we go Mike, Dog, and then me?
All right, my first one's Phillie Phanatic. I think when I think of mascots in all of sports, the Phillie Phanatic comes up just about on every list. So Phillie Phanatic.
All right. How about you, Dog? Do you have the Phillie Phanatic?
Phillie Phanatic, number one.
Yeah, and I have Phillie Phanatic as well. Dog, you can't rank them. Come on, you know the rules. I just gave you the rules.
All right.
Hold on. I wanted to. I'm not done.
You're on the clock. You understand that.
But the Phillie Phanatic, I just want to let you know, Mike. We had the opportunity to actually see the Phillie Phanatic, and it's even as an adult, he is so fun to watch, and what he does and moving that belly around. Phillie Phanatic is awesome. All right, Mike.
The next one I chose was Dinger. He's the Colorado Rockies mascot, and I just like the name Dinger. It has to do with baseball. It's a baseball mascot. It's a good, cool name. When you hit a home run, it's a dinger. So I'm Dinger is on my list.
Okay. What do you have, Doug?
San Diego Chicken.
Yes. So the San Diego Chicken. He's had a long history. He's been around quite a bit. So my other pick would be Youppi. You guys know who Youppi is. Youppi started with the Montreal Expos, and then after the Expos moved to become the Nationals, he was actually ended up being picked up by the Montreal Canadiens. So this is a mascot that has done baseball and hockey. So he's pretty cool.
All right. My next one is Chance. He's the Vegas Golden Knights mascot. Again, the name, it's Vegas. It's Chance. It's poker, gambling. Chance. Yes. Chance.
It's a Gila monster, right?
I think so, yes.
Thank you. Yeah, it's funny looking. I like it. It's funny.
Yeah. All right, what do you got, Dog?
Brutus Buckeye, the Ohio State University.
That's awesome.
Good one.
That's yeah, that is a good one. Mike, I can't read my notes. Could you give me one of the others that I picked?
I guess they mean a lot to you. You got Benny the Bull on here.
Yeah. Stop right there. I actually saw Benny the Bull before. Benny the Bull, obviously it's a man or a woman, doesn't matter, dressed as a Chicago Bull. But the catch with all of this is that they do these amazing acrobatic, gymnastic, flips, dances, everything. And I don't know if you saw the latest one, but just this past, not this past week, this past season, Benny got out there in between timeouts and they gave different genres of music and he was able to nail every single one. So Benny the Bull all the way, baby.
All right. My last one that I have is Moondog. You'll appreciate this dog. The Cleveland Cavs. Moondog. And strictly athletic ability. He does all the dunks and all that kind of stuff. Moondog with the athletic ability is, and that's something that if I'm scrolling through Instagram or whatever, and they run into some of his stuff where he jumps from half court and he goes through the hoop or whatever those things that he does, his athletic ability. I don't know why he's not signed, but the guy is unreal. So Moondog, Cleveland Cavs.
Moondog, by the way, guys, I saw him when the Cavs took on the Bulls. He was doing a running of the Bulls kind of thing, even though the Bulls mascot wasn't there. They were taking on the Chicago Bulls, and he was in a suit and everything like he was running for the Bulls. It was hilarious. It was great. His other mascot of the Cavs is Sir CC because he's a cavalier with a swashbuckler with a sword, but Moondog's a great mascot. Mine is Slider, the Cleveland Guardians mascot. It's a pink or fuchsia whatchamacallit. We don't know what it is, but it loves carrying the flag whenever the Guardians win and loves giving hugs. And much like Fungo, the Fisher Cats mascot, loves to give hugs to the kids and high fives.
That's a big segue for me, dog, because Fungo would be up there for me because Fungo, kind of growing up with my kids, going to the Fisher Cats. Fisher Cats, for those that don't know, are the AA affiliate of the Toronto Blue Jays based out of Manchester, New Hampshire. But Fungo is awesome, and Fungo has come to our school before. They do a reading challenge, and everybody loves Fungo. Lots of fun, and you're right. Fungo's a hugger, and I'm a hugger, so I love Fungo. All right, that was great.
That was good. That was good. I'm gonna read trivia one more time. Who made the? Whoops, sorry. Who made the infamous helmet catch for the New York Giants in Super Bowl 42? It was infamous if you were a New England Patriot fan. 603-228-2080 for a $20 gift card to Lucas Roasting Company. We will be right back with more Mike and the Hoss.
107.7 WTPL, the pulse of New Hampshire.
I'm Dennis Roberts Jr., owner of Hillsboro Ford and Hillsboro Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram right here in historic Hillsboro, New Hampshire. It's a lot of Hillsboro. Let me tell you something. I feel like I'm Jim Carrey in, what was that show, In Living Color. How did I tell you that? So anyways, we know buying a car can feel overwhelming. That's why we built our stores around something simple, treating people like people. I mean, who would have guessed that would work? Crazy. I don't know. You won't find pushy sales tactics. I mean, obviously we're going to ask for the sale, but not really pressuring. Actually, that's what a customer said. They said, no pressure at all. Just honest, helpful folks that wanted to help me find the right car, not just any car. That's what they said. They really did say that. We take pride in making a car buying experience relaxed, easy, and dare I say it, enjoyable. Whether or not it's your first car, your fifth truck, or you're just taking some of our coffee from the waiting room, you know? We got people that do that. We'll walk you through it, not walk all over you. It's not about one sale. It's about many sales. It's not about making a killing. It's about making a living. And it's about the deal you know you got versus the deal you thought you got. Do you think I can come up with any more phrases like that? I don't think so. I'm out. So head to the hills, Hillsboro Ford and Hillsboro Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram today.
Spring's ticking. Summer's gonna be flying. There's only so much time to get things done before fall. That's why Kubota Orange Days at MB Tractor and Equipment is the time to move. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and rugged RTVs. Get more done faster, so you can spend less time working and more time living. And now through June 30th, get 0 down 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,500 off BX23S tractors. Mow it, dig it, haul it. Whether it's clearing brush, shaping your landscape, or tackling that big back 40 project, Kubota and MB help you win the day and still make it to the barbecue. MB Tractor and Equipment has 9 locations ready to serve you and great deals waiting. But hurry, these offers won't last. Get ready to mount up on your new Kubota tractor, mower, excavator, or RTV because the clock is ticking. And before you know it, those fall projects will be staring you down. For offer details, visit KubotaOrangeDays.com or stop by MB Tractor and Equipment. There's one near you.
With Progressive, renters can save on protection for the things that make your place yours, even things that don't make sense to everyone.
People always wonder why I don't get rid of my guitar since I never play. But it's like, what if I actually end up taking lessons? Sure, I've had it for 8 years, but if I get rid of it, then what will my New Year's resolution be next January?
Exactly. So bundle your renters and auto and save with Progressive and protect the things that make sense to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
Are you ready to take control of your financial future? Meet Sean Toll, a Concord-based financial advisor.
Hi, I'm Sean Toll. Whether you're planning for retirement, saving for your child's education, or looking to grow your wealth, I'm here to help you achieve these goals.
With personalized strategies and expert advice, Sean Toll will guide you every step of the way.
Let's create a financial plan that works for you. Call me today at 603-715-2335. That's 715-2335, or visit daviswealthmgmt.com.
Sean Toll, your partner in financial success.
Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Capital Management, LLC, BCM, a registered investment advisor.
You're listening to the Granite State's own Mike and the Hoss on the Pulse of New Hampshire.
Mike and the Hoss on the radio waves. Teachers by day, coaches making plays. Sports talking kings of Wolfboro Town.
We have an answer for trivia. Peter from West Ossipee has hopefully the correct answer for us with trivia. Peter, what do you got?
David Tyree.
That is correct. David Tyree. He just ruined it for us Patriots fans. Peter, I suspect you're a Patriots fan.
I grew up a Giants fan. So I was very, very happy. I was very happy. I would have been happy either way because I like both teams. I grew up a Giants fan. So
Peter, how did that curse come upon you to grow up a Giants fan?
Well, where I grew up in northern Maine, Patriots are never on TV. It's the Giants.
I gotcha. So you were kind of forced into it. Well, you know what? There's plenty of room. There's plenty of room in Patriots Nation. If you're welcome to join us.
Oh, I'm still there. Yeah. And I'll use about the Philly Fanatic. I had a rake fight with Philly Fanatic in the 1981 Little League World Series.
I take it that the Philly Fanatic won.
Yes, yeah. I worked there those 3 summers, 80, 81, 82. And Fanatic was there in 81. And us to the ground crew. He choreographed the entire thing. It was a blast.
Well, that's awesome. Well, hey, congratulations. You won yourself the $20 e-gift card to Lucas Roasting Company. I know that Ossepee's not too far. West Ossepee's not too far from Wolfboro. So you'll be able to head over there and enjoy some delicious coffee. Most importantly, thanks for listening to the show. Continue listening, and we appreciate you being a fan of Mike and the Hoss. Take care, Pete.
Thanks, Peter.
You're welcome. Yep, bye.
Remember, guys, the Giants were New England's team before the Patriots because the NFL had there was no AFL football. So there was a lot of people. I remember hearing stories in the 40s and the 50s that New England's team was New York's team, the Giants.
Jeez. Yeah. I don't know. But I guess, I guess if I had to pick a New York team for football, I would probably root for the Giants over the Jets.
I would pick the Giants over the Jets.
Yeah. And
I agree with that.
Oh, Dog's on the phone. I'll ask him the question later. Mike, go ahead.
Well, we got to talk Celtics. Celtics are in the playoffs. It's been 3 games of inconsistent ball. They played well in the first game. And then Tatum went down hurt and actually missed the game, which I was surprised. All the knocks that we have on Tatum, the one thing that guy does is show up and play.
Yeah, of course.
He played all 82 games this year. So, that is definitely something that I appreciate about Tatum. But they did well. Brown stepped up, and then you mentioned our notes, the Porzingis injury. And if there was ever a hockey-like thing that happens in the NBA, because we tool on the NBA a lot, that they don't get up and play. The Paul Pierce going off in a wheelchair and all that other kind of stuff. But Porzingis put a Band-Aid on, and he had a pretty good gash. It was like blood everywhere, and he didn't miss much time. And he got back in there.
He came back out. Yeah, it was great to see it. It's funny because
it's a meme now, guys. It's a meme.
It is. Yeah. Oh yeah, we're talking about.
It's going to be on T-shirts in Boston forever and ever and ever now.
It's so rare in that sport. It's so rare for these guys to really play injured without all kinds of drama. I thought for sure Tatum was going to play in game 2, and it was going to be they were going to announce him right before the game, and he was going to come out limping or whatever he was doing with his wrist. So and they ended up losing last night. with Tatum. Tatum came back to play. He scored 36, so he certainly wasn't bothered by the wrist. I'm going back to what I said. You guys thought it was going to be easy. I think this is going to be a grind for the Celtics. I think that Orlando matches up well against them, and they're going to win another one. Orlando's going to win another one.
I do want to listen. I don't want to. I mean, Dog's a huge wrestling fan. Mike, this whole thing, this is the perfect script. Everybody knew Game 3. They're going to go back. They're going to go to Orlando. They're going to win Game 3, and it's over. The series is over. The Celtics are going to cruise now and win this series. It's not going to be a series, Mike. You know this. I mean, I know you want it to be, and you think it's going to be. It's not. It's scripted. It's scripted to the point where we know that the NBA is not going to allow this to happen, and neither are the Celtics because they're a better team. So they got their one win. I said Celtics in 5. I'm sticking with Celtics in 5.
Does your tune change if Orlando, obviously they wouldn't be in 5, but if Orlando wins Game 4, is your tune are you going to get a little nervous? Are you going to get a little bunched up? Now it's the best out of 3. Are you going to your pants going to get a little bunched up if that happens?
I don't know. Maybe no. They're not going to get bunched up. We'll see. If they win Game 4, we'll talk and we'll see what happens. Going in if they're tied up 2-2. I'm not worried. I'm really not. I have no concern about that. I don't think the Magic are going to beat the Celtics again this season. Dog, I had a question. Dog, I had a question for you, Dog. Just it's not related to the Celtics, but it's related because we have the doubleheader Red Sox today. What happens? I'm hoping that the Red Sox win both. What happens if the Red Sox lose both games? Do you drink 2 ginger beers?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Different brands too.
All right.
Dog's gonna be
sugared up.
He's gonna be sugared up and maybe sauced up. Speaking of the Red Sox, as we said, they, if you want to, it's rainy out here. It's not rainy where you are, Charlie. So if you want to sit in front of the radio and listen to 2 Red Sox games on the Pulse of New Hampshire, playing at 12, pregame 12:10, and then this afternoon at 5:10. The Red Sox are hovering around 500. They're a 500 team. They've been 500 for a long time.
Yeah.
And my opening take, we never got to my opening take, but it was on Roman Anthony.
Yeah.
And why is he not up at the big club right now? And it's so much, and I'll get into it more next week, but I think the Red Sox spend so much time and worry about roster management rather than putting the best team on the field. And I think that's where we're at right now. They look at service time. They look at, somebody breaking out, whatever. And you have
or money being spent.
Or money being spent. And you have 2 players that are playing in Worcester that are offensively better than just about every single every player on the big league club.
Yeah. No,
and
agreed.
So winning's not a priority. And that's the only way you can look at it, is that winning is not a priority. It's organizational management is the priority for them. And I'm sure that other organizations do something similar, but I like to see when the 19-year-olds come up and play. It just doesn't happen in Boston very much. Devers is the only one that I can remember that happened. And, these guys, Roman Anthony is hitting the cover off the ball in Worcester. He is the number 1 baseball player in the minor leagues. His stats are significantly better than every player that's on the big league club. It doesn't make any sense at all. He was pulled out of the game last night in Worcester, though. I don't know if that means anything, that we might see him today. I don't know if they'd probably announced that by now. Maybe Game 2, maybe.
Heading to the land.
So let's do it. I mean, we got 2 Red Sox fans and a Guardian fan here.
Yeah.
Do the Red Sox, they split today? What's going to happen?
They're going to split. Dog.
Guards are going to take both of them.
Oh,
both of them, baby. They're going to take either 2 out of 3 in this series. They're going to sweep them right out of the land.
So if that doesn't happen in the Red Sox sweep, then our group chat is going to be we're coming at you, Dog, on the group chat if it doesn't happen. So be prepared.
Go Red Sox.
All right. Is that about it for us, Dog? Yeah, he's waving us down. So next week, we will be back. Don't forget, Overtime with Mike and the Hoss. You can catch it on the Pulse Podcast Network, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.